that. Look, you represent Turkish television, right?
I
Is that
represent
correct?
the newsmakers.
Is this Turk?
Yeah, this is TRT
Is that
World.
a Turkish television program?
It's TRT World. It's taxpayer funded in
Is that
Turkey.
Turkish?
That's right. That's right.
From Turkey. Okay. Look, I don't ever want to see the United States adopt the Turkish legal system, where people are presumed guilty, where judges are arrested, where the head of Turkey
so let's have a
runs
discussion about the Turkish
dictatorship.
legal system.
I don't want to
and
ever
not
see America
your
subjected
massages.
to the Turkish system.
Okay.
No, what I'm talking
so
about,
can we
making
talk
these
about-
accusations,
I'm not making any
you
accusations.
making these accusations,
Have I made any
sounds like
accusations
it
against
comes
you,
from
Professor
Erdogan.
I've not made any accusations against you, and I don't represent
Yes, you've
President
suggested, you
Erdogan.
said,
However,
why would they lie? Why would they lie? Let me tell you, let me tell you why they would lie.
Can we bring this
First
back
of
to
all,
the
if
facts?
you ever said anything,
Okay,
if you
can
ever...
Okay, so that was Alan Dershowitz in probably one of the best interviews with him by TRT television, Turkish television. I think that they're the only one who asked about that guy, Mike Fiston, who was whose notes were used by Julie K. Brown to wrote her famous perversion of justice, and of course, Dersh said he doesn't know who Mike Fiston is. I have a video on Mike Fiston. The guy is very important because he explained what happened in the so this is thumbnail is wrong. So he explained what happened in the during Jeffrey Epstein 2008 case, how the let me see where I think this is the part, how Alex Acosta, so federal prosecutors sent indictment to Dershowitz and other lawyers of Epstein to change it. So they changed the which is of course illegal, and they changed and this is the part where he said that. Okay, I'm not going to play it. So he said that Alex Acosta, as I said, Alex Acosta sent indictment. It's actually written here in the title. So Alex Acosta sent indictment for Alan Dershowitz and company to change it. Okay, so when this interviewer asked him who is Mike Fiston, he pretended here that he doesn't know, but I will create a separate video on everything that Alan Dershowitz said here in this interview. There are a lot of brutal lies in this interview, and it's especially interesting when it comes to that piece in Wall Street Journal that came out, I think, in May this year about Epstein calendar. Anyways, so go back to the subject. So the subject here is something that Dersh said about presumption of innocence. So I think that he said people are presumed guilty. I know what happened. So
Bring this. Can we bring this? Sounds like it comes from Erdogan, the head of Turkey. So runs. Want to see the United States adopt the Turkish legal system, where people are presumed guilty, where judges.
Okay, so presumed guilty.
Judges are arrested.
So judges are arrested. I will first actually address his claims that judges, he implied here that judges cannot be arrested. I just created a video on prosecutor. In this context, prosecutors and judges are the same. So this is the case when prosecutor was arrested. So prosecutor, or at that time deputy prosecutor of highest instance prosecution in Serbia, and also there are cases related to monstrous murders on my family, where prosecution, high instance prosecution office in Belgrade forwarded crime report to high instance prosecution of Smederevo. This prosecution was in charge, acting in this case against president of higher instance court, and there is another case related to Judge Dejan Adamovic, who brutally committed major frauds in my late father inheritance proceedings, and in that case the one who acted was Mladenovic, Vesna Mladenovic. It's here, and this video is more than enough to show what the whole thing was about. So Belgrade prosecution of appeals, high instance prosecution, recommended to Chief Prosecutor Dragan Lopushina of high instance prosecution of Smederevo that cases of monstrous murders of my family must be moved to other prosecution office, because the prosecutor of that office, his prosecutors, because he's chief prosecutor, showed bias, but he ignored that, which is something that probably didn't happen in the history of prosecution in the whole world. And this deputy prosecutor Vesna Mladenovic simply ignored everything I asked her regarding crime report that was forwarded to her, to higher instance prosecution of Smederevo, again from Belgrade higher instance prosecution, which is probably the most important prosecution, one of the most important prosecution offices in the state in Serbia, because they were dealing with major cases in Serbia, full of military helicopter where baby, 5-day-old baby died. They covered that up. Then murder of 2 soldiers. Then the major drug trafficking case, Jovanjica, and so on and so on. So these 2 cases also shows that judges can be convicted, can go to jail, can be prosecuted, and so on and so on. So Alan Dershowitz is talking nonsense here. And other thing that I need to mention is crime law in Serbia. So if I go to the paragraph article 360, so it says here 6 months. Okay, I'll translate this. So this is first paragraph. A judge or lay judge. jury judge, I don't know, judge of the jury, I don't know if this is proper term, lay judge, public prosecutor or his deputy who in court proceedings with intention of obtaining some benefit or causing him some this is wrong translation, so with intention of obtaining some benefit or to someone else or causing damages. So with intention of obtaining some benefit to someone else or causing damage to someone, enacts an illegal act or violates the law in another way shall be punished by imprisonment from 6 months to 5 years. Second, if the execution of the act referred to in paragraph 1 of this article, property benefit was obtained or damage was caused in the amount of over 450,000 dinars, 450, it's something like 4,000 euros. The perpetrator, in this case judge, deputy prosecutor, prosecutor, will be punished with imprisonment from 1 to 8 years. And the same thing as the second paragraph, but amount is 1,500,000 dinars. So this is something like 12,000 euros. So judge, deputy prosecutor, prosecutor will be punished with imprisonment from 2 to 12 years. So this is how much judges and prosecutor involved in my case will be. This is for how long they will go to jail, because they caused way more than this amount. They caused damages way more than this amount. To me, so law have leave left the space for judges to be convicted. Also, there is another way for judges to be prosecuted, prosecutors as well. They have their high councils, which deals with which governs the work of prosecution officers and courts, and within those councils there is the special prosecutor called disciplinary prosecutor, but I think this is for some minor things that they do. And the second thing is something very important, so law on judges. So law on judges. Okay, I need to. Okay, this last paragraph is not important. So this is liability for damages. Article 7, law on judges. So let's see what it says. I'm just showing how much rubbish Dersh was talking about. So Republic of Serbia is responsible for damages caused by a judge through illegal or improper work. If the Republic of Serbia, on the basis of a legally binding court decision, i.e. a settlement concluded before the court, has paid the damages from paragraph 1 of this article, it can ask the judge for compensation of the paid amount if the damage was caused intentionally. So this is euphemism caused intentionally for breaking the law or violating the law, and then of course some other things which I'm not going to explain, and then law on public prosecution offices. Again, liability for damages, Article 58. The Republic of Serbia is responsible for damage caused by the holder of the public prosecutor's office through illegal or improper work. So this is how government is protecting judges. This is why they are doing what they do. This is why they are in cases when high-profile morons are involved. This is why they're brutally breaking the law, because they're protected by the government. If the final decision of the Constitutional Court, a legal binding court, blah, blah, or settlement before the court has established that the damage was caused intentionally, so again, euphemism for breaking the law, the Republic of Serbia may request compensation for the amount paid from the holder of the public prosecutor's office, in other words, deputy prosecutor or chief prosecutor. So these are two laws, another two laws, so law on prosecution offices and law on judges, that also left room, I said space, actually left room for judges to break law, and of course to pay damages and to go to jail, as I just showed, so up to 12 years. Okay, so that was something which is not really the topic of this video, but it is related. So the topic of this video is when someone is presumed guilty, so when presumption of innocence no longer apply, and and this topic is something that I already covered in another video related to lawyer who executed plan to illegally sold my property, which was given to monstrous murderer by a judge committing major frauds. So in second part, this is the phone call I had with this monster and piece of shit, so DUSANKA LUKIC, lawyer. Yeah, so this is presumption of innocence. So at 21:28, after Lukic says presumption of innocence is part of the law of Serbia, because I was constantly stating that monstrous murderer murdered monstrously 3 members of my family. I explained that it is, unless state institutions ignored your crime report with no explanation. In that case, it is presumption of guilt or guiltiness. So when I said that, a lawyer didn't complain, didn't say I don't know what I'm talking about and similar. So a lawyer confirmed that I'm right, that the presumption of guilt is real thing. It exists. So it's not something that is part of someone's imagination. So, and this just shows how Alan Dershowitz, how much of rubbish he was talking about. I mean, this is just one small part of the interview. So presumption of innocence actually presumption of guilt is one of two consequences of something that is a controversial topic, and it's when state institutions, this is exactly what I just read, when state institutions in first place, prosecution offices, police and courts ignore your crime report, because you can file crime report to court as well. So when they ignore you, you can first act as prosecutor, and second, the presumption of innocence no longer apply. It's presumption of guilt for all the people which are part of the of your crime report, which committed crimes described in your crime report. I address this thing of acting as prosecutor here and here in this video. I uploaded yesterday, and now, and of course there are other videos related to acting as prosecutor. So one of the consequences when prosecution, police and courts ignores you is that you act as prosecutor, as state prosecutor. So you as citizen act as state prosecutor. So there is another video which I uploaded in 2 years ago. Here is where I also explained that, and there are some other videos like this one which also address this controversy when state institutions ignore you. So when they do that, you become them. This is description of the video. Then another one, what court, police and prosecution office not in charge must do when you file crime report. This is related to crime report, and this is what they should do. They must do these 3 steps, not ignore you. And finally, a list of crimes committed by everyone involved in cases of monstrous murders of 3 members of my family. So most of these crimes are crimes that are committed by state institutions in the first place, prosecution, police and courts, when they ignore your crime report. So not reporting a preparation of criminal offense and so on, in some cases not reporting the crime and the perpetrator, assistance, obstruction of justice, very, very important, abuse of authority. This is the one that I just explained, violation of the law by judge, public prosecutor and his deputy, and so on and so on. So actually without 13 and 14, okay, without 13 and from 13, this can be excluded, 13 from 17, because they are actually related to the to monstrous murder of my family. So 12, around 12, maybe there are some which really do, and definitely incitement. So around 12 crimes which are committed when prosecution, police and court ignores your report. Okay, so regarding other claims of Dershowitz, so I'm just now talking about his credibility and his knowledge and his statements in this small piece from an interview. This shows how biased he is, and either he doesn't know things that I'm talking about regarding presumption of guilt, or he pretends he doesn't know. If he doesn't know, it's even worse. So this is something related to his claims that he made in that interview. So again, about this is something about ignoring DA not claims but crime reports. So Epstein victim Maria Farmer. This is her picture from 1996. He reported Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell in 1996, and FBI ignored her and refused to give her a DA witness protection, which automatically means that FBI, by doing this, admitted that Jeffrey Epstein is guilty. So he was presumed guilty, it's not just about him, but everyone who was involved at that time. So they are from 1996 year and on, they are presumed guilty. So in 1996, and everything started in 1992. I will create a separate video on that. There are now a lot of statements that confirms that. So I mentioned Epstein scandal because this is the worst scandal to hit the humankind. International children's sex trafficking prostitute ring. So worst scandal to hit the humankind, and best example how state institutions, in this case federal institution, admitted that Jeffrey Epstein is guilty by ignoring Maria Farmer's crime report. And of course, another important and interesting fact is that Maria Farmer is class suing. So class lawsuit is lawsuit in the name on behalf of other victims. So she's suing FBI for in damages for $600 million, and the only sad fact is that FBI won't pay that, but taxpayers. So that was another thing regarding ignoring crime report by state institutions, and in that case assuming presumption of guilt. So these are the highest profile cases. Another high profile case where this happened is also Franklin scandal. This scandal is now coming into spotlight again. It's reignited because of Jeffrey Epstein scandal. I just covered that matter here in this video that I published like 3 hours ago. So that was all regarding when someone, I mean, for now, if there is something more, I will create another video, but for now that would be all regarding presumption of innocence, actually, or more precisely presumption of guilt, when presumption of innocence no longer apply, and when presumption of guilt is assumed. And of course I needed to mention what is what is causing this to happen, and it's, as I explained, when state prosecution and police and judges ignore your crime report. Of course you can file crime report to some other in different form, but it's crime report in the end to some other state institutions like social workers, social centers, and so on and so on. And the second consequence of state institutions ignoring your crime report is, as I explained, that you can act as state prosecutor. So you as a citizen can act as state prosecutor. So two major consequences of state institutions. So again, in the first place, prosecution offices, police and judges, and in the video that I just showed, you can also file crime report to prosecution, which is not in charge. So what this means, why is this so important? It is extremely important because without that, without knowing this, knowing your rights, you cannot pursue justice when state institutions ignore you, and when you cannot pursue justice, you're a slave. That's what you are. And of course, this is not something random. This is done on purpose. The whole organization, everything regarding the laws in these cases are done on purpose. So when it comes to government, which is doing dirty work for elite, so-called elite or real mafia that controls them, so they created the whole system how to protect either government or so-called elite real mafia, or people who are doing dirty work for government, so criminals and so on and so on. So this is done on purpose to protect real criminals. I mean, other criminals who are doing dirty work for them, but real criminals are the cause of the problem. If you cut them, then problem will disappear. So again, if you don't know this, you cannot pursue justice, and you are just a slave. So being slave in modern era is something really embarrassing. So I hope this helps.